thanks to the support as a channel member, Russ Eddy. Well, over the last few years, we've very much become an FA Cup team. Now we're going to find out if we're also a Carabao Cup team. We're away against Championship Birmingham, and it's a nice little test for the new look team early on in the season. And as you can see, the season has in general started pretty well. Of course, we had that victory over Luton on penalties in the previous round. We've then beaten Exeter away from home, drew at home to Rochdale in the league, which means 4 games in to life in the Football League. We're up in 7th place, which at this level is a playoff spot. Remember, in League 2, the top 3 teams go up automatically, and then the next 4 go into the playoffs. No more of this bottleneck thing that has been a problem for the first few years of the save. So decent start to the season, could become decenter if we're able to navigate our way past a Birmingham team. I don't know why I've gone there. Hold on, where am I trying to go? A Birmingham team who are 23rd in the Championship and struggling, just the 1 point so far this season. So if we were ever to beat them, it would be in a game like this. You would think, obviously, they've got quite a lot of fancy, expensive boys. The transfer window still hasn't closed. We've got a couple more days left of that. Although realistically, we're not likely to bring any more players in unless somebody were to leave. There are a few fringe players we'd like to get rid of, but they don't want to go. And it looks like the free loans aren't going to be a thing we're really able to do this year, because traditionally we've only been able to do them after the transfer window is closed. And now, of course, we are victims of the transfer window. So we might be going into a season with no loans for the first time ever, which I think I'm comfortable with. But this is the team for the game against Birmingham. It's Casagrande in goal, a back four of Patterson, Brown, Noble and Connor, Farkas and Cook in midfield, Archer on the left, Reece Dottin on the right, and then Thomas and Day together up front. Let's get the team submitted. I love the fact that we've got the Carabao Cup licensing stuff on it. I know it's been in FM for years, but this isn't an FM thing. This is a Bedford thing. It's just fun for us, having spent forever in non-league, to play at a competition that's got all the fancy Carabao Cup graphics, which of course you don't get to play unless you're an EFL team, because it's the League Cup. That's what it used to be called back in the olden days. Oh, we've won the ball back very nicely here. It's Farkas on the edge of the area. Cook into Thomas. Thomas shoots, and it whistles just wide of the post. That was very close to being an early breakthrough for us. And this is the first video I've recorded since the new patch that came out last week. And one thing that we discovered on stream the other day, and which I will show you the next time we're in a highlight, I'm sure you've already found it for yourself, but just in case you haven't, I think this is possibly the most fun new feature we've had in a long time. And it's not shouts. As you can see, shouts are there. I'm less bothered about shouts. What I love is this. The fact that you can now have your match stats overlay on this screen, which is, it's like a look back at like FM18 when you used to be able to cover the entire screen with all sorts of stuff. I'd like more of this, please. I don't just want this one panel up here. I would like to have the league table down here. I want the opposition formation. I want it all back. But this is lovely progress, and it's quite nice just having those bits and bobs on there. As you can see, we've got more XG than them. Are we the blue ones? No, we're the black ones, actually. We've got less XG than them. Interpret the graphs properly, Kev. We had a good first 5 minutes, is what I'm learning from the match momentum. It probably wasn't even 5 minutes because the game hasn't been going long enough for it to have even been 5 minutes yet. But it's Birmingham with the free kick halfway through the first half, and it goes sailing over. And I don't think Casagrande was ever going to be troubled by that one. I do like the green background. Oh, it's lovely. It's fun being a Football League team. I'm very much enjoying it. I wonder how much longer it's going to last for at Bedford. Not the whole Football League thing. Bedford are here to stay. But surely, if we do have we've had 27% possession. Surely, if we have a decent start to this season, which it looks like we're in the process of having, you've got to think in terms of a team like Birmingham even, who are struggling in the Championship, might look at me performing well in League 2 and be like, you know what, this could be the man to get us out of trouble. So part of me does suspect, certainly based on how non-league legend has worked in the past, it's quite a familiar shape, for us to get as when we're doing well to get as far as League Two, but not make it through the first League Two season if it's going well, because we get swooped away by some fancy boys from a higher level offering more money. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. We are struggling here. I tell you what, all this talk of, oh, look at me, I'm waiting for my offer from a championship club. We've had 26% possession against a team who are struggling. And we've been all right against teams of this level previously. The other alarming thing, I guess, again, without getting too gamey rather than non-league to legendy, as mentioned, it's the first video since the new update. I got a little bit ahead on the videos last week, so I think this is the first one I've recorded since the new update. You might be telling me, no, Kev, that was there in the last episode. Don't worry about it. But I wonder, and again, we found this on stream. My tactic that had been working stopped working. Now, we don't use the same tactic in this save, so it doesn't necessarily follow through that this tactic will no longer work either. But I am looking at less than 30% possession in this first half. And I know we don't normally dominate possession, but we normally create a few chances. That might be the worst 45 minutes of football we've had in the entire save. So I really hope it's not broken my tactic, because that will be quite upsetting, especially as we hit the end of the transfer window. And it'll be the first time in the entire series that we won't be able to actually do anything about it immediately. We won't be able to, I mean, obviously we can change the tactic, but we've signed the players specifically to fit this system. So if we had to change the system, chances are we'd need to change some of the personnel as well to make that work. And we won't be able to do that until January. We can't do it off the back of this game against Birmingham. They're a championship team. They're supposed to beat us. But we are normally a lot more competitive in these matches against teams from higher leagues. Reece Dottin is having a horrible time out there. I think we're gonna save him and take him off. Thomas can go out onto the wing, and we'll bring on Moncur. And I guess it's a situation to do a shout. The problem is, I don't want to demand more because we're not supposed to win this game. We'll encourage them. Moncur's now come on and immediately got injured. So I think, again, in terms of looking ahead at the rest of the season, the important matches, we'll just take him straight off again and Cena can come on up front. Moncur was on the pitch for 7 or 8 minutes before picking up that knock. And I think we've only got one more window, substitute window, whatever they call it. Stoppage. There you go. I knew there was a stupid word for it. So this is our final stoppage. So I guess we make the rest of our changes here and now. I might give Caelan Belgrove a run out, who came through our youth system. He's been in and around the bench for years. He's now 19 years old, still got decent potential, can play anywhere up the middle of the pitch. So we might give him an opportunity to play against a better team. Or is that madness? Who is D. Jones? Okay, another youngster. Not familiar with him. Right, we're going to bring on Captain Kirk. Noble's anxious, so Captain Kirk can come on, even though he's not the captain anymore. And then we're going to bring on Belgrove in midfield. And we're also going to bring on, I think we're going to bring on Geo Smith and give him a little run out against good opposition as well. A little bit of player development with a couple of the boys. But yeah, this game has been a disaster. We've made it above 30% possession. Presumably that means Birmingham have stopped trying. Now they're 2 goals ahead and have realised there's just no chance we're going to get anything out of this football match. But there is Smith. Goes past his man really nicely. That was good from Smith. Finds the cross. Day is in there. And then Smith helpfully clears it for them. I mean, is he looking for a move to Birmingham? Talking about me trying to get one. That looked like he's safely put it out of play. Johnny Day. It is not Johnny Day today. He is on a 6.0. Not only the worst performance we've put in the entire series so far, the worst performance we've seen from Johnny Day. Maybe he's never going to be a top-level footballer. Or maybe he scores here and he just is a guy who doesn't need to play well. He doesn't need loads of chances. You give him one. Johnny Day. Yeah. I mean, I guess we now go attacking, don't we? Because we're actually only 1 goal behind. And after all of that talk about this being a disaster, Birmingham might not be ready for what comes next. Let's go very attacking. I don't want to demand more. Demanding more. This was always my problem with shouts. Demanding more is silly in a game like this because we're not supposed to win. So I can only encourage, surely. Because demanding more suggests we're underperforming and we're not. So we'll encourage again. And, I mean, if we end up only losing this by 1 goal, bearing in mind how the game has gone, I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back for damage limitation. And it's probably the best way we could have been eliminated from the competition. But, yeah, it's still been, there's been worrying moments. I think my plan is finish the transfer window, play a few matches off camera, and then I can come back to you in the second half of the episode and let you know if the tactic's broken or not. I think that's probably the sensible thing to do. So we're knocked out of that. I'll finish the transfer window. I'll see you probably towards the end of September, where hopefully we'll have started winning matches again. Well, we're now at the end of September and I'm still none the wiser as to how this... I don't know how much of it is blame the update, how much of it is we're now full-time playing in the League Two. It's going to be a little bit harder. We got ourselves... we weren't knocked out of the Virtue Trophy. We did lose against League One Bristol City. We also lost away against Wimbledon, which you can't really complain too much about. We won at home to Carlisle, but then lost at home to Accrington. That's the one that really stings because Accrington are rubbish. And then we drew away against Mansfield, which is actually quite a good result. And all of it means is that 8 games in, we're mid-table, which I guess is where we're supposed to be. I mean, if we have a look at the media preview, the media think we are... I mean, we've dropped all the way back down to 21st on here now. We were much higher than that earlier in the season. Clearly, everyone else had a better deadline day than we did. We did zero business on deadline day. And we've since lost a couple of players to injuries as well. Our third choice keeper, or maybe backup keeper, Brad James, has damaged his spine, and he's going to be out at least for the rest of the year. And then we've also taken an injury to Ollie Thomas as well, who has got a bruised toe and he's going to miss today's match, possibly the next one as well, which means we need to bring in Moncur, who hasn't yet scored for us, but to be fair, also hasn't started a game yet. So big opportunity for Ronnie Moncur today as we play. Who are we playing? We are playing Oldham. Oldham, who are just below us in the league. We're at home. Definitely a match that if we are going to have a decent season, we should be winning. It's Casagrande in goal, a back four of Patterson, Brown, Noble and Shield, Cook and Farkas in midfield, Archer on the left, Restotting on the right, Moncur and Day up front. And we would be looking for a victory today. I mean, we're always looking for a victory, but we really, really want to win today. No messing about. Proper win, please and thank you. So let's. I want to have a proper look at their manager. It looks like he's dressed in a very snazzy manner. I guess we should probably focus on the football, but I need to spend more time looking at the outfits of my rival managers because they seem to be getting more and more extravagant the further into the future we get, which I guess it's just fashion changing with the times. I'm just still dressed like an old man. Right, Farkas with the far post corner. It ends up falling to Cook on the edge of the area. He gives it to Restotting. Oh, what a goal from Remy Restotting. Yeah, you dance, young man. That was sensational stuff. Look, I mean, this is absolutely out of nowhere. Cook plays it across to Restotting. I mean, yeah, have a shot from there by all means, but I don't think anyone was expecting a shot to be like that. Oh, goals are always better when they come off the underside of the crossbar. Beautiful stuff. 1-0 to Bedford. And what does that do to the league table as it stands? It would put us back up to 7th, where we were at the start of the episode, only 5 points behind top of the table Cambridge. Top of the table Cambridge is a sentence I don't like having to say. I don't care if we get promoted this season. I just don't want them to be. I think that's reasonable. Casagrande showing that he is still good enough for us at this level. He is a beautiful goalkeeper when it comes to just plucking the ball out of the air. He's a big boy and he handles the corners and the crosses really quite well, except when he's injured. When he's injured, he flaps at them a little bit. or when he's just coming back from injury. But once he's played himself into some form and he's settled in, he's very, very good at handling the aerial stuff, which is jolly nice. And to be honest, anyone who's been watching the channel for a few years will know just how often I change my goalkeepers. So for the fact that he's been our first choice goalkeeper, this is his 4th year as our first choice goalkeeper, and we've got 2 promotions in that time, and he's still starting in goal, shows just how much I like that boy and how much of a good signing he was when we brought him in way back in like season 2 of the Save. I think he arrived at the club. So what a huge signing he's been for Bedford. There should be a Casa Grande statue outside the New Erie, which, by the way, you might notice this is a home game. We've completed our latest. That's poor from Casa Grande. We've completed our latest renovations, which seem to have made this ground enormous. It's still only a 5,000 capacity stadium. We'll zoom out on it next time. Oh, there you go. We can look at it from there. Look at that. Remember when we used to have trees behind a fence back here? What an upgrade. But unfortunately, we're not winning. That stand looks huge. Absolutely enormous. I don't see how this is only a 5,000 capacity stadium. That stand looks like it would hold 5,000 on its own. Right, let's offer some encouragement. I still don't like the idea of demanding more. I don't want shouts back. I like not having to think about them. It's too much decisions. I think there's still potential to fill in the corners here as well. So we might not be done with expanding this stadium. I think I mentioned in the transfer video, maybe it's unusual to get 2 expansions of the same stadium, at least in my experience, but it looks like we've potentially got room for a 3rd there. It does mean the expansions we've done, having been to Bedford in real life, we must have knocked down real Bedford to fit all this in, which is fair enough. They're supposed to be behind here somewhere. There's no way you fit that stand in. So we've basically leveled their ground, which means we've got loads of expansion capacity, which is good stuff. Less good is the fact that we're now losing at home against a team that were below us in the league going in. And as much as I like Casa Grande from crosses, do we question what he's done here? Because this is... you can't expect him to do any better with that, I don't think. I will now demand more, though. Now we're losing. We've gone attacking. I'm demanding more. And, I'll take a draw at this point. Form has been very, very up and down as we look to settle ourselves in to League Two. Oh, my word. Shield sliding in like a madman, cutting up our beautiful new pitch. We've just laid this pitch with grass. Don't be sliding like that on it just because you're not going to get a friction burn anymore. No need to turn into a maniac. Oh, they're going to score again here, aren't they? Oh, Casa Grande went the wrong way, but luckily it's kind of bounced off of... Is that safe standing behind that goal? That's what it looked like. I want to have a closer look at it now. Right, Nelson comes on. He can play. Yeah, he can play on either wing. Still getting used to my new boys. So Nelson comes on. Cena can come on for Moncur, who really doesn't look like he is up to it, does he? And we've got some anxious and furious players at the back. Is that a good situation to be in? It probably isn't. We have got Wellety Lucky, who we've not really used at all yet. So I think we bring him on. Maybe having a lucky centre-back will change our fortunes. Oh, I'm desperate for him to score from a corner. And I can tell you how lucky it was. Oh, this could be a thing. We might have a new hero. Oh, there he is. Lucky clearance. Oh, this is going to get old fast, isn't it? Right, it's Johnny Day. Is it Johnny Day? Bruno Sena's lurking in the middle. Can Day find him? Is he even going to try? Or is he just going to go it alone? Johnny Day plays it back to Nelson. Sena's there. I think Nelson was shooting. Sena almost scoring. Cross comes in again, looking for Day. You're aiming at the wrong man there, really. And now Farkas back to Lucky, who lumps it forward, hoping for a lucky interception. We're stretching it a little. Let's let it be organic, Kev. You don't need to force it. That is a bit too fancy from Brown. Right, Archer plays it over the top for Sena to chase, and unfortunately, Sena wasn't too bad physically in the league below and the league below that. I think he's a contrast to Restotting in that he's someone who really is not Restotting, Casagrande. I was looking at Restotting, I think, as I said it, but he has struggled with the step up a league. Are we going to bring McGrail on? I need to remind myself who McGrail is. I mean, yeah, we're going to bring him on the right hand side, and we're going to see if he's any good out there. So Nelson can go over that side. McGrail can go there. And then for my final trick, do we need to freshen up the midfield? It probably wouldn't hurt to get Burke in there. Swap those two over. Are we already very attacking? We are. Might be time for some beration, boys and girls. There you go. We're berating them. Because this is a game we should be getting something out of. They were below us in the league going in. Burke is now just going to kick people. Because he's cross because he's been berated. I've upset everybody with my shouts. Just don't use shouts, everybody. I'm ruining everything with shouts. I've got to stop shouting. That is a lovely free kick from our perspective. This is frustrating. I think it's just going to be one of those seasons. We're probably going to finish mid-table, and that's definitely fine. But games like that kind of annoy me because I've got so used to winning over the last few years. But I guess we need to get used to inconsistent bobbling around mid-table, which definitely looks like our plan for the year. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.